friend. Welcome to the podcast. I am Melissa Matheson, and it's Wednesday, and that means the camels are coming. Our Wednesday episodes are inspired by a story in the Bible in Genesis 24 when Isaac sees his future wife riding over the hill on a camel coming to meet him. The camels had brought him a wife. Appropriately enough, our Wednesday conversations are with some of my married friends about how they met, dated, and proposed. Today we're talking with newlyweds Cole and Anna, who are in the middle of yet another life transition. So go grab your coffee or your Earl Grey tea and join us at the table. We're talking about low-key dating, a text message after their first date that made Cole throw his phone across the room, and the meaning of home. Today on What's Next, God? We usually start these out talking about coffee because we all like coffee, but you're not drinking coffee, Anna.
I could pretend.
You could pretend. What are you drinking?
Earl Grey tea.
Earl Grey tea.
London Fog.
London Fog. And do you put sugar?
Oh, yeah.
A lot?
No, not a lot. So,
okay.
It's steamed milk and then water and Earl Grey, and I do a tablespoon of sugar in the raw.
Do you just not do coffee?
Yeah, it's too bitter. It's really bitter, and it's really strong.
You don't understand? So, Cole, you do drink coffee?
Every day.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of coffee?
Right now I'm drinking coffee from Black and White Coffee Roasters.
Where's that?
That's out of Wake Forest, I'm pretty sure. So that's like a college. I'm not exactly sure where that's at.
Did you find them online?
Actually, some of my friends lost and found coffee in Tupelo.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Incredible. So they introduced me to them. Top 3 coffee shops I've ever been to. Top 3 pour-overs I've ever had. So I was like, give me that coffee. I'm going to be making it at home now. And they were like, all right, we'll sell it to you. And so
Lost and Found Coffee Company in Tupelo, Mississippi is in one of your top 3.
Yes.
Where's your others?
Vista Coffee Roasters in Vegas.
Okay.
And then it's pretty. There's one in Birmingham called Innova. It's hard to find because it's in like an apartment complex. So
That doesn't sound sketchy at all.
A nice apartment complex.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah. But it's like, I'm like, Innova, where's that? And I went and tried it, and I was like, this is dang good.
So you like pour over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do pour over at home or only when you go to shops? You do pour over at home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
wow, you're a real coffee guy.
Yeah. I love it. So.
Do you drink creamer in it?
Mm-mm.
No.
Just straight black.
Just straight black coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Because I like the taste of, all the flavor profiles and stuff.
So what roast right now are you? Is it like a medium roast that you're doing with Black and White?
Right now, it's a light roast.
Okay.
And it's called, I think it's something to do with honey.
Okay.
And so I can't remember the first.
I don't remember what it is.
But it's like they ran it's like a time of year where they can only get this certain coffee this time of year. So they sell it this time of year. And I was like, I got to have it.
This is the only time of year I can get it.
Yeah, I got to have it now. So.
Well, I like you.
Mm-hmm.
I like your taste in coffee.
Yes. Cheers.
Funny.
Cheers for that. Do you do any type of espresso?
So I've been spoiled by Lost and Found, and they have the best espresso that I've ever had because they're very precise in measurement and precise in the time it runs. And so I've only had their espresso and been able to have flavor profiles with it rather than it just being like a straight shot of
caffeine.
Wake you up.
Yeah. Well, if anybody from Lost and Found in Tupelo, Mississippi is listening, I think you need to let Cole burn.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to hook him up.
Right.
Yes. So Wednesday episodes are about the camels are coming.
Okay.
Do y'all know about the camels coming? Anna, you do.
I do.
You know about that.
I'm aware.
So in Genesis 24, the story of Isaac and Rebekah, Isaac meditating in the field. His father's servant goes and finds him a wife, brings her home. They get married, live happily ever after. And so our Wednesday episodes, we get to talk to some of our favorite married people about how they met, dated, and proposed. So I'm really excited to hear this story because I honestly don't know this story. Yeah. How do I not know this story?
I have no idea.
So Anna, you and I go way back.
We do, yeah.
How long have we known each other?
Oh gosh.
2012?
Maybe. Yeah, that's when I really started getting connected here.
Here in Northwest Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Okay.
That's where I went to high school. And I graduated in 2011.
Okay.
And then I went to college at Alabama in
Tuscaloosa.
And me and my friend would come up to Hamilton on the weekends and got really connected at the ramp.
And then you moved here.
Yeah, and then moved here after graduation.
Yeah. So you moved here right after high school. So I met you when you were just a baby.
Yeah.
Right out of high school.
I moved to Tuscaloosa right out of high school.
Oh, but you were coming up here. But I remember meeting you before you were living here.
Yeah, so I was
and then you
young.
moved.
19 maybe.
Are you guys the same age?
We're not. Mm.
We're not. Mm. So Cole, you're a little older.
Mm.
You're a little younger. So where were you, Cole, when she was in high school? Were you in middle school or elementary school?
So when she graduated, I was
elementary school.
when she graduated,
how young?
I was a freshman in high school when she graduated. So.
Okay, so just a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 years.
Where did you grow up, Cole?
So I originally grew up in Gatman, Mississippi. I moved with my dad when I was 12 to the thriving metropolis of Bear Creek, Alabama. And so that's where I went to high school. That's where I was kind of raised. So
yeah, y'all go try to find Bear Creek, Alabama on a map if you're listening. Good luck.
Right.
It's a lot of zooming in.
A lot of zooming in to get to that one. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how you met. But I do remember, here, let me tell how I met Cole. This is the first time I remember meeting Cole.
Okay.
I am in Pensacola, Florida.
I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
And I am at an event, and I see a black Altima with a Alabama car tag with a 49, which is our county, Marion County,
right,
in the parking lot. Mm. Not mine, but this one exactly like mine. And I was like, okay, I'm in Pensacola, Florida. There's somebody here from Hamilton, Alabama. Who are they and why are they here and why are they driving the exact same car? Right. It's like it's a 2005 Nissan Altima.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, how did that happen? Random. So I go inside and I'm looking around. I'm like, hey, anybody here from Hamilton, Alabama? I need to meet this person. And it was Cole.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my name before I got married was Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us.
Look at I did not know that was how y'all met. That is crazy.
That's the first time I remember meeting Cole. Now, Cole, how did you get to Northwest Alabama? Okay, you were Bear Creek with your dad. When you were 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've been here for a while.
Yeah, I've been here for, since I was 12.
So you two met through some mutual friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which are we naming names?
Alex.
Are we happy? Are we happy with them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm so kidding.
Yes.
Like,
it was a good thing.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Alex?
So I met. We actually just talked about this on my podcast. We met technically at Tollgate,
which is a restaurant
here in Hamilton. Then we met at Anytime Fitness and had a conversation, and then we met playing basketball and had a conversation, and the rest is history. And
then y'all became friends.
Best friends. Yeah.
And Alex is now pastoring a church, Overflow Church in Tennessee, isn't he?
Yes.
So, and you were introduced.
Yeah, so we probably, I don't remember when we actually first met.
Was it, no, not was it. It was when I was going to team meetings for the India mission trip at Chelsea.
That's right. You went to India with that group.
Mm-hmm. So my roommate, Chelsea Dowda, shout out Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea. Love you, girl. Love you in Manchester, England.
Yes. She was going to India on a mission trip. And they had, I think, 3 girls or 4 girls that were
I
going.
think it was just Cole and 3 girls on that trip.
Yeah, they wanted a guy to go with them for obvious reasons.
Safety reasons.
Yeah. And so Cole is the one that got volunteered to go to the India trip.
Pastor Jacob.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Jacob.
So he would come over to our apartments for like the meetings. And I remember this. I would walk through the living room and be like, hey, y'all. Like, I knew everyone but him. And Chelsea was like, this is Cole. And Chelsea would talk about Cole, like, in the meetings. And, like, we had no idea. There was no interest. There was nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
You didn't see her, Cole, walking through the living room and go, who is that girl?
No. I was just like, I'm just here for a meeting, you know.
He was not on the prowl.
Yeah. So when did this happen? When did it change?
Man.
I guess it would have been in 2017.
Yeah.
Chelsea and Anna were roommates on Lover's Lane in Hamilton.
Which, by the way, I've mentioned Lover's Lane before, but we love Lover's Lane.
It's iconic.
It is. Hamilton. It's one of our favorite places in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And so there would be like tons of people over there a lot because they had a huge house. And so I would always get invited, so I would go over there.
So just started hanging out at the house. Mm-hmm. Now, so when was the India trip that you went on?
India was in May of 2016.
Okay, so a whole year later.
Yeah.
Y'all weren't friends or anything, just kind of knew of each other.
Yeah, like if we had group parties and all our friends were together, we were always in the same group. But nothing ever, I mean, we never connected. We never talked really. There was we weren't interested or really looking, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then when we lived in Lover's Lane, he would come over and hang out. And then we got to know each other and got to be friends on like Snapchat and Instagram and stuff. So we would follow each other. And then I think vividly I remember is we would Snapchat. You'd Snapchat at everybody at that point.
Right.
It wasn't like a
sketchy
app.
Like it is now.
Like it is now.
Like I don't let my children use it.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It wasn't that. Or for me, it wasn't.
Right.
So we would Snapchat, and I think one time I had gotten lemon pie, and Cole loves lemon pie, and he was like, oh my gosh, I want some. And I was like, come over, like I have plenty. And so he came over and ate lemon pie, and I feel like that was the first time I was like, okay. Like we have our own friendship now. We have our own relationship building now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, it really there was no like, we really didn't engage in like a relationship.
Like, hey, I
dating.
like you.
No,
kind of
yeah.
And then so after my dad had surgery in Florence, and she was up there.
Yeah, so my family's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in
Same
Florence,
area.
Alabama.
Yeah, and I was up there.
And we went to Starbucks right after my dad had surgery because I remember I had to be up like super early in the morning. Mm-hmm. And she was up there, and then so it was actually on a Sunday.
Yep.
I remember that.
Went to Starbucks.
Yeah, we went to Starbucks.
Magic over coffee.
Yes, naturally. And then we actually went to like the Church of the Highlands campus up there. It was like a new campus, so we went and checked it out and just kind of like hung out a little bit. And that was the first time we were like, okay, this could be something.
Yep.
So it was kind of mutual. You both happened at the same time for you guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Where did we go from here? Did you like ask her on an official date after that?
So when was that?
That would have been, I want to say it was like, when did you go on the cruise?
July 4th.
July 4th. So it would have been like, I think pretty sure it's July 13th.
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah. Well, we had our first date when I got back from the cruise because we had planned that because we were talking before and kind of hanging out, and he was like, well, when you get back we can go and have dinner at City Hardware, I think, in Florence, Alabama.
Okay.
And so we went to City Hardware,
and we knew it was a date. This was a date, like an official first date.
Like, hey, I like you, we're gonna go and have dinner and see where this could go.
Right.
Were you nervous, Anna?
No, I wasn't at all. I think it was the first time I really felt comfortable around someone and like I could be fully myself. I didn't have to like reserve anything or like hold back or watch what I said.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I think because Cole is like that. He's just kind of like, he's just himself. He doesn't really have a filter, but not in a bad way. Just like he just says what's on his mind, and it just kind of frees up, I think, people that are around you. So it kind of eased the mood, I think, because he wasn't real serious.
Pause. What's your enneagram? Are y'all familiar with the enneagram? Okay. Anna is 7.
Do you like this?
I know they can't see that on the podcast, but she made this really big face and held up
threw up a number 7.
Threw up the numbers. 7. She is 7 all the way 7. What's your wing? Do you know your wing?
8.
You're a wing 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a hard 5.
You
hard 5. Yeah.
Hi, Dave is a hard 5.
Hard 5, and then
I'm gonna guess your wing 6. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That explains a lot in your personalities now that I'm talking with you a little bit.
Yeah.
So, okay, unpause. So, how did that first date go? Went well?
Great. Yeah.
It was great.
Really good.
And that was it. Did you know that, hey, this could be it? Was it one of those moments that some people say they have on a date like that? Or is it well, that was fun. Let's just see what happens.
No, I think for me, I was like, this could go somewhere. This feels very right. This feels very comfortable. For me, I think that was always the thing. Like, so I feel like I can fully be myself.
It was different than other dates you've been on. It was different for you.
For sure.
What about you?
Oh yeah,
Cole?
I remember leaving that date, and I called Keenan, who's my best friend, and he didn't answer. So I sent him this text message really quick, and I remember like going in the house out at Weston, and he was like, y'all are gonna get married, aren't you? And I was like, I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
Now, had you dated before? Or you had?
It just hadn't been.
It was different for you.
It just was like, well, I say I dated. I had been on dates, but like consistently dated anyone? No. Yeah. Because the dates, like she said, did not feel like that.
Didn't work out.
And I was just like, this is a waste of time. So I'm not going to waste my time, And then it was like, that one wasn't a waste of time.
Which I can so appreciate, because I think if you go on a date and it's just not there, it's okay to just be honest and instead of trying to either make something happen, even if it's like a really great person. I think sometimes there's that danger of trying to make something happen because
they're a great
they're
person.
so great, or they're in your friend group, or because that I think is hard for the community. We're a close community here of people, our single people even here, and if there's something that doesn't work out, it affects a friend group, doesn't
it? Really does.
And so
it really does.
You do kind of tread cautiously.
You do,
here
before
in
you get in
that
a relationship.
How long did you guys date before you proposed?
We started dating
in July.
January.
Okay, you knew.
In January. Yeah.
You knew.
I mean, it was right, and I think we just kind of both agreed. And I was older. I was 24?
24.
So I was like,
You're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. He acts like he's 30, so
he does.
Was ready. So
Cole,
it just worked,
Cole's 21 going on 51.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
So I'll say this, one great thing that happened after that first date was Cole sent me a text just being very clear about his intentions. He was like, hey, like, I really like you. I think this could really go somewhere, and I want to be upfront with you about where I'm at. Because, you leave a date and you're like, how did they feel? Did they have fun? Did they think I'm weird? And just the intentionality. I remember going home and telling Chelsea that. I was like, that meant so much that he just was upfront, didn't leave me, like, waiting on... like the 3-day rule. I don't talk to
so you sent that text that night?
Yeah, like on the way home.
Oh, good job.
So, it was awesome. That was
And that didn't scare you off or anything, Anna?
No, I think
you loved that.
Yeah, I think it really, like, settled in me okay, he likes me and I like him. There's clarity about what we're doing. We're not just hanging out. We're not just like, we're dating. We like each other and we're pursuing something.
Yes, it was very intentional.
Yeah.
My Dave was very intentional. And that's helpful. I'm not a 7 though, but for women, when a man is very intentional, it helps.
It really does.
Brings clarity.
Yeah, because women need security. That's what we need. So when someone is very intentional and upfront, it brings security in the relationship, I think.
How was your friend group with all of this? Did they see it coming, or were they all surprised? Because I was surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
I was surprised.
We kept it like way down low.
But you were not two people that I would have said, oh yeah, Cole and Anna, they'd be great together. I just never put you two together in my brain. Right. I don't know why. I just didn't.
I think all of my friend group, they were very like, you are crazy if you don't try to do this. Like,
because she's so great.
Right. And so all of my friend group, all of my friends were extremely happy and extremely like, go for it, you know. And so this is kind of scary in a way. Like most of my friends are like, yeah, like just go for it. Like, you know, don't think about it, just do it. You know, and I'm like, no,
you're on Enneagram 5. I gotta think about this.
Yeah. So I just remember it's like you said, like the community here is very close, and it's like hearing everybody's, I guess you could say, like blessing was like, I was like, all right, like these people are full of Spirit, they love God, and they see that this is good. Yes. So it was like, you know, go for it.
Was there anybody that said, put on the brakes?
No, literally not a single person.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Anna, what did all the girlfriends say?
I'll say Chelsea was shocked a little bit. She was like, you mean Cole Burks?
Like the one I went to India with?
I was like, yeah, Cole Burks. Everyone else though was like, yeah, Cole's great.
Yeah.
And I think Cole he's a little more reserved. I'm the one that's like, hi.
Yes, Enneagram 7.
Yes. And so I think a lot of people just didn't know him. They're like, yeah, I mean, he seems great.
I could see that.
Yeah, but you really have to sit down and like have a conversation, spend time to really know Cole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were like, yeah, sounds great. But no, I mean, Chelsea was the funny one. She was like, what? Cole Burks? But
yes, Cole Burks.
Yeah, Cole Burks.
Cole Burks. Tell me about how you proposed.
So I had, I was like, I knew when I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it late January.
Why?
I really didn't have a good reason.
You just knew January.
I just knew January seems good. And so when I proposed, I remember one time I got off work and we met and hung out on the big bridge in Florence.
Yes.
And so I had our worship pastor at the time. He also does photography on the side. I was like, Josh, I need you to come take some pictures of us getting engaged. We're going to get engaged right here in this spot. What do you think? So he went and scouted the area out, and he was like, yes, this is where it has to be done for me to get the best shot. So I'm like going all day, and I'm like, I got to make sure that I'm in that spot. And it's just like, I got to make sure that I am in that spot. And on the way to propose, so Alex Gallion was there, and two of the kids that were in my youth group were there, and Josh. And there's a little ledge, and I saw their heads poking over this little ledge, and I literally in my head, I'm like, you idiots, hide, like, do not be seen. That's not in the plan. And so, so I proposed on the front of that bridge, and that was it.
What time of day? Evening?
Evening.
We were going to dinner.
Going to dinner.
Yeah. So right on the way to dinner, we stopped.
Were you genuinely surprised, Anna, or did you know?
I knew. very much knew. But not because he gave it away or I saw the ring or none of that. We had talked about like, yeah, we want to get married. The time frame, I was like, it's got to be now. Like, and we were going to the 360 Grill, which is this really nice restaurant.
Yes.
At the Marriott in Florence. And I was like, there's only a couple reasons you go to the 360 Grill.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, a wedding, an anniversary, or a proposal.
Right.
Yeah. So we got engaged on the bridge. We were walking down there. And I mean, this is how much I knew. We were going to that place that we went and hung out one of our first dates. We were going to the same place. So I knew that. And then I was looking in the trees and like on the ledges. Like I was looking for people.
For somebody.
And then we got down there. And I think you were so focused on like, I have to get in this one spot that like as soon as we got to the spot, he was like, drop down. Drop down on one knee. Hey, will you marry me?
And she obviously said yes.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And the wedding was in
May.
In May.
Yeah, so we got dated, engaged, and married in less than a year.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, got it done.
Do you recommend that? Did it work for you
For
guys?
us, yeah.
I think you just, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will say, I mean, even after we got married, and I think this probably continues through your whole marriage, you're constantly growing, learning more about each other. But I think the first few months of marriage, we were intentional about like doing like workbooks and going to conferences and, you know, really like investing in our marriage because it happened so quick. You know, we didn't have time to, we did premarital counseling. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of that kind of helped us and set us up for success.
And you are living in Mississippi when you get married. You got married in Florence. I was at your wedding.
Yes.
It was so beautiful.
Yes.
And then you lived in Mississippi for a while. What did you do after you got married? Tell me about the first year of marriage. What was that like?
It was fun. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think our first year of marriage, it just flew by. Like it was just so quick.
Yeah, it really did.
Because it was like our first year of marriage, I lived here and she went ahead and moved to Amory because her lease was up before mine. And so I'm a student pastor in Amory. And so moving there in May, it was like, you know, the first year of marriage was just, it was like being in the full swing of youth ministry, and it's just everything happened so fast.
Yeah, it really did. I moved in March or April. March. I moved into our house that we're in now, and then Cole moved in obviously in May, and then we had already built relationships there. So I mean, we just stepped right in and took off, you know, in marriage because we had already been in ministry. He got that job the November before we got married.
So it wasn't a new position. It was
Correct.
Something you were already doing.
kind of settled into that church.
As student pastors. Now you're also a dance teacher, aren't you?
You
were.
Well, we're transitioning to Knoxville, as you know, and so in August we closed the studio, so we wouldn't have to close it mid-semester.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
so you've taught dance though for years.
Yeah.
And years and years.
For years, yeah. I started dancing when I was 3 and danced all the way through college and then got out of college. And when I moved to Hamilton, I took the first 2 years out of or a year and a half and taught dance at multiple studios. I would drive around during the week. And then got an engineering job. That's what my degree's in.
Okay.
So, got an engineering job.
A grown-up job.
A grown-up job with insurance. And
the adulting thing.
Yeah.
Benefits,
yes. And then met Cole. And then we got married. I switched jobs right before we got married. So I moved into this house, switched jobs the next month, got married the next month, opened a dance studio the next month.
Oh, yeah. Talk about transition.
So that transition, I know all about it. Yeah. Honestly, at the end of it, I realized how stressful it was. In the middle of it, I don't think I did. I think I was like,
Well, sometimes when you're going through things, you are just in go mode and you don't think, you're not even thinking about it. You're just, I've got to get this done. I've got to take care of this. We have to do this. And you're not even thinking until you either crash, you know, or you finish the job.
Right.
And you go, oh, wow, that was hard.
That was hard. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, marriage alone, that's a huge transitioning from dating and living your own life.
What was the biggest transition for you guys getting married? Going from single people, now you're living in a house together.
Man, learning what home means to each of us. That was like in one of the workbooks we did. It was like, what does home mean to you?
Tell me about that. What does it mean to you, Anna?
So for me, home is where you come and it's light and it's fun and you can laugh and play games and it's very up for me.
Yes.
For Cole, he enjoys it's a very restful place.
Right.
That's where he comes. He lays down. He reads a book. So that was
that's a huge adjustment.
Yeah. For me to understand, you don't want to be loud and rambunctious with me right now because you've had a long day and this is where you come to unwind. And for me, I feel like my work day is when I get done, I have all this energy built up that I have to get out.
How do you balance that with you guys being so different with that?
Right. So, I mean, just very intentional about date nights.
Yeah.
Very intentional about...
So that you can feed her Enneagram 7.
Right.
Take care of her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just very, very intentional about... I think there's just paying attention in marriage, paying very close attention. And I'm not a very attentive to detail person.
Okay.
But I do observe a lot and pay attention. So I understand when it's Anna needs me to engage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's...
Yeah.
You're aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if I do want to go and do something and have an up night, I know that at home it's probably not going to happen. And so I've learned that when we leave, he can meet me when we're out of the house. He can meet me and have fun, and then when we go back home, he can rest, and then I'm good.
And you don't feel rejected by him or anything when he's resting because you know that that's what he needs when he's home.
Yeah.
Very
in the beginning, I definitely felt rejected, and we had lots of you don't love me moments.
I want to have fun.
Yeah.
You want to take a nap.
Yes, you're so...
But naps are fun for fives.
Right.
They are.
Right.
You need rest.
And the there's nothing, I call it the YouTube hole. And it's whatever I'm interested in at the moment, I'm going to fall into a YouTube hole at some point, or I'm going to be in a book and I'm going to have it read in a day. And so it's just I'm reading this book.
I'm all in.
I'll be done in a minute. So
tell me about some of the books and things you use to invest in your marriage in the beginning. Are there specific books or things you can recommend?
The Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts is, I think it's every young couple, every couple should read it, because it not only read it, but do the workbooks that comes with it. Mm-hmm. It just brings it, like I said, the awareness. It brings so much awareness to your marriage, rather than it just being you're trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
It gives you answers.
Right.
Okay.
It asks the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to think to ask, well, what does home feel like to you? That doesn't come up.
Right.
But when you go through those workbooks, it asks those questions that reveal a lot.
Because I think sometimes we run into a problem and then we try to find a solution to that problem only, instead of let's find out what the solution is or what the answer is before we even have to ask the question.
Yeah.
So that when it comes up, you guys aren't trying to make a decision based on emotion or where you are or what the dispute is or the disagreement is. You already know, we've already read this.
Yeah,
we've already talked about this.
Thing.
Very good. I love that. Okay, do you have another book? That one's a number one pick.
Yeah, we went to Church of the Highlands marriage conference.
Okay.
And Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott were there.
Oh, they are so
They are
great.
Unbelievable.
They are. I actually follow them on all of my social media outlets.
Yes.
I get their email.
Yeah.
They are wonderful.
They are. And they did, what was it, 3 sessions?
They did 3 sessions, and then you took a test.
You took like a big personality test, but you took it like linked you with your partner, like your spouse, and it compared how you deal with things and how you interact with each other, and it gave you like a lot of tools and a lot of like, these are going to be your high conflict areas, like beware for these, or these are going to be ways that you can really connect. So
that's
it's
so great.
so helpful.
It also like identifies your like, you obviously have, I think Pastor Casey calls it heated fellowship in marriage. He calls it.
Pastor Casey is one of our favorite people. He pastors Hope Unlimited in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he calls it heated fellowship.
Heated fellowship. I've heard him say that in his talking about marriage before. And I think it identifies the way you fight. It identifies the way that you
conflict resolution.
Oh
right.
yeah.
And so it's like there's 4 types of you were one of 4 types. And it's like, this is the way that you are going to go into a confrontation.
Yeah.
And so be aware that this is how you are, and
and how your spouse is.
And it's better to see that and read that before you're in heated fellowship.
Right.
So that you're aware. Because when you're in heated fellowship, you go, we read about this, and you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's good. So tell me what's next. You guys have some transition. You're moving. This is actually your last weekend.
This is, yeah.
In the area. You're moving to Knoxville, Tennessee. What are you going to do there?
Well, we're going to be connected with Pastor Casey's church, Hope Unlimited in Knoxville. We're going to be serving there and hopefully being an asset and helpful and carrying some weight for them.
Yeah.
Because that church is doing amazing.
It is doing amazing.
They are amazing people.
They are,
and their church is growing.
Yeah, they just got into a permanent building.
And do you have a place to live already?
We do.
Yay!
We move in on Friday.
Whoa!
I know.
Right.
It's going to be fun.
Are you nervous or excited?
Both.
Yes.
Definitely both.
What are you nervous about?
Just...
because you're having to change jobs too.
Well, I'll keep my same one.
You'll be able to do it still.
I'll work from home.
I was about to say that's going to be a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
But you'll get to do it from home.
I'll do it from home, yeah.
Anna, that's awesome.
I know. It really is.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm very excited and very thankful that I didn't have to go job hunting and try to do all that at once.
Because that's a big thing in transition for people when they move, is that whole moving, finding jobs. You don't have children yet, but you're thinking about plugging them into schools and churches and how's this going to affect them. So I love this. Feels like a really good time for you guys to make this transition.
I know. I agree.
So anything else? What else are we doing? You're podcasting these days, aren't you?
The cold hard truth.
The cold hard truth.
That's I'll let the fans name that. the people who said that they would listen, they named that.
They named it.
What
do you talk about on the podcast?
I usually talk about just leadership and things of that nature, church theology, anything like that.
Gotcha.
Love all those topics. So so I'll be doing that, and also I'll be working from home as well. So I'll be working with AT&T. Okay. From home, doing some stuff for them.
That's great. So you guys are already set with one of the major things you deal with in moving. You already have the jobs, you have the house, you have the church, and we know people there already. So you have the community.
Right.
You guys, it's a win-win.
Hoping it's seamless.
Yeah.
We just jump up there and
ease right on in. I think you will. I think you guys are going to do great. Thanks for coming by and chatting with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
I I still can't believe I never knew how Cole and Anna officially got together until today. They listed some great resources for marriage, the book called Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts by Dr. Les Parrott, and actually anything by Drs. Les and Leslie Parrott would be great. I'll throw one of my own recommendations in there, a book by Jimmy Evans called Lifelong Love Affair. Guys, investing in your marriage is absolutely necessary whether you've been married 1 year or 25 years. If we're not connected yet on social media, let's be friends. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook under the name Melissa Matheson. That's math, like 4 + 1 = 5, I before E, son, S-O-N, as in my 17-year-old son who is making me cry filling out college applications this week. But we'll save that story for another day. Friends, I hope you plan to join us each week on Mondays and Wednesdays as we sit around the table, have a cup of coffee, and talk about what's next, God.